With Modern Warfare 3's reveal, the game's already up for pre-order, and today, as a part of our comprehensive coverage, I want to take a look and lay out all of what is on offer here for the game in a simply objective fashion, with minimal input of my own, but just simply giving you the facts so that you can make informed decisions as you like. As we go along, drop your thoughts down below. How you feeling about the Modern Warfare 3 coverage here so far? Do you like what we see, dislike it, cautiously optimistic? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, you find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare 3 as we continue on with the coverage still from a bunch of stuff that's important to know out of the reveal events, as well as the future here with other reveals and the eventual launch. I'd love to have you in the community. And finally, my friends over at G Fuel are having a buy one, get one sale lasting until I want to say Wednesday, where it's the best bang for your buck. Awesome flavors on offer like Hype Sauce, Shiny Splash, and more, but more on that a little later. For now, let's jump into the Modern Warfare 3 editions and things that you should know ahead of opening your wallet. First, and I cannot stress this enough, I do not care what you do. Buy it, don't buy it, buy the standard, buy the vault, I truly don't care. This isn't a pitch, and I'll restate my position as bluntly as I can. I personally don't like to pre-order games, especially this far out, especially when no gameplay or footage is out there. My recommendation, wait until there's actual gameplay and or perhaps you've had a chance to play the game for yourself before you make any sort of purchase. Again, you don't have to. It's not my position to tell you what to do with your money. That's just the way that I personally operate, and I think it's a low-risk way to do so, in my opinion. Each beta, every single year, has 2 weekends, and historically speaking, have opened up the final 2 to 3 days to all players on their respective platform weekends to everyone, not just pre-orders. The benefits offered with each pre-order are still going to be there after those free-to-play periods, the usable skins, campaign early access, and so on, all going to be there. So if you're willing to miss out on a day or two of the pre-order beta periods, that's one way I'd recommend. Not to mention the betas usually come with buddy codes as well, and a ton are given out throughout the community for free that you can grab one for free potentially. Worst case, if you don't want to miss those first few days of the beta, you can't get a free code, you can always go to your local shop, put $5 down as the usual minimum for a pre-order, play the beta, and then cancel it. But again, let me be abundantly clear that this video is just an attempt at a truly objective look at the additions of the game to keep you as informed as possible. But hopefully making that again abundantly clear, let's take a look at these, shall we? Firstly, the standard editions. You want the game at any point, doesn't have to be now, can be again when you've played that free-to-play weekend in the Modern Warfare 3 beta or whenever, but this is your bare bones entry in which it's kind of self-explanatory. There's digital as well as physical versions, but all the digital versions are going to be cross-gen versions. Physical editions though, PlayStation is, for whatever reason, still segmented into physical cross-gen versions for PS4, which include the PS5 upgrade if you buy it initially on PS4 as that cross-gen, but there's also just a standard physical PS5 version that does not include the downgrade to last-gen. Xbox, on the other hand, does end up having a cross-gen physical just as cross-gen physical, so it comes with both the Xbox One as well as Series S or X versions. So it seems kind of counterintuitive to not just have it consolidated on PlayStation, but I mean, it is what it is. For PC, there are no physical editions nor cross-gen editions because, of course, there is no next-generation PC. But instead, Beenox will be at the helm of the PC side, hopefully working to make this thing run on a potato as well as a supercomputer. So if you likely fall in between any of that range, you should be covered. Now, the biggest bonuses out of the standard edition are the Soap Operator Pack that comes along with the Soap Unmasked and Soap Masked skins, both of which I gotta say are pretty cool looking. There's a bit of an animated topo pattern on the uniform. Plus, I'm not really one that cares for skins in a game. You can't see them most of the time, but if there's ever a skin I'm a fan for, usually he's gonna have NVGs in it, and this one kind of goes hard in my opinion, but it'll additionally come with the M13C Shadow Siege blueprint, which has a red and gray color palette to it, sharing the animated topo design of the uniform carried over instead to the base of the weapon camo. Now, that blueprint comes along with the SZ SR07 optic, the 14-inch Bruen Echelon barrel, the Cronin MAW86 muzzle, the X10 Gravedigger underbarrel, and the Bruen R90 factory stock. Personally, I haven't unlocked the M13C at its base from the Shadow Siege event to begin with, so I have no idea personally on how it performs, though I've heard it's kind of weak, so do with that what you will, but it's combined with that blueprint. I will say that on the topic of this pack, we'll touch on overall inconsistencies between this year's versions versus last year's versions, but last year we didn't see any sort of bonus beyond beta and campaign access like this for the standard edition pre-orders. So this is a little added bonus if you just want that base version. But as mentioned, the biggest bonuses here are beta access and campaign early access. Beta is standard, though no specific windows have been set officially speaking, other than an internal document from Game in the UK showcasing that beta codes will be sent prior to the start date of October 6th, which falls in line with what we've heard previously. The following dates are leaked, so not confirmed, could be subject to change, but it seems like they're matching up pretty well. Weekend 1 being October 6th to October 10th, that being likely a PlayStation exclusive weekend, and Weekend 2 being October 12th to 16th for PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Series S and X, as well as PC. Again, I'll say it for the second time, likely not going to be the last. To make it abundantly clear, these weekends will include free-to-play periods that you do not need to pre-order the game to get hands-on impressions, and I do very much recommend getting any sort of additional insight, either via gameplay reveal that could happen before the beta, getting hands-on in the actual beta for yourself, or just seeing gameplay footage somewhere whenever it's actually out there before you put any money away for a game. Know if you're going to like it or not going into it. Now, Campaign Early Access is one that will come a little later on down the line, but is also attached with even the base version of the game. Again, if you enjoy the beta, enjoy the hands-on, whatever, and you think it's worth your money, this will absolutely still be available up until the launch day. But Campaign Early Access is returning, and it'll be available a week before launch, so starting on November 2nd, the way the time zones work with the Oceania regions, technically speaking for where the game ships from LA on the west coast of the US, the game will launch on the 9th, so a week before that, just the way, again, the time zones all work out with the international dateline, but that can truly be accessed from any point here from the 2nd until the 10th if you decide to pre-order. Doesn't have to be the 2nd, could be the 4th, 7th, 9th even, and you'd have access to it. Personally speaking, I am a big fan of this being a bonus again, and it is something that, while I don't often pre-order games, I'll probably pick up my own version of the game almost exclusively for this. Not even so much for the beta, since you can secure codes without a full purchase, but the ability to not have to rush through a story and to be able to jump into MP immediately on the main launch. In the past, that's always been one of those things that's been a big debate internally for me, since I do love campaigns, but the majority of the content here on the channel is multiplayer and online experience based, not campaign content. So while I really want to go in and play the campaign, in the past, it's potentially hurt the output of content. So entirely eliminating that point of contention is a great bonus in my opinion. I'm sure that even if you're not a content creator, that's something you may have had that debate as well at some point. But beyond that, for physical copies, while there's probably going to be other promotional things in the future, right now laid out and detailed are a steelbook that comes along with some versions of the game. The only one I've seen so far is via GameStop, so it might be retailer specific. And then also the code pack, which comes along with the direct action pack, which is a calling card, emblem, and sticker, where proceeds go to the Call of Duty Endowment, a nonprofit to help servicemen and women find work after their deployments. But next up is the Vault Edition, and one that I find really kind of interesting for a number of different reasons this year, but running a total of $99.99. It's a bit different in both good and bad ways, I guess. Again, it's a weird comparison compared to last year. May just depend on who you are and what you find valuable. But this year's Vault Edition is digital only and comes along with the Soap Operator Pack, Campaign Early Access, and Beta Access, that all the standard bonuses are included in that. But additional bonuses of the Nemesis Operator Pack, 2 weapon vaults, and Black Cell for Season 1, plus 30 additional tier skips, 50 total, and 55 if you're on PlayStation. So let's break these little segments down if we can. The Nemesis pack comes along with 2 versions of skins for 4 operators: Price, Ghost, Makarov, and a new character named Warden. So 8 skins total with that. They look pretty nifty for sure. They look like base and then sort of upgraded or like ultimate versions of skins. The weapon vaults, while they haven't specified what weapon these will be for, they follow the same 141 versus Kony group sort of mirroring of the Nemesis pack, where the color schemes are almost opposite here: white and blue, red and black. But it's 2 weapon vaults this year as opposed to 1, meaning that the weapon camo will transfer for all attachments of the subsequent weapon platform, and that the entire platform is unlocked from the get-go as well. So you have multiple weapons and all of the attachments unlocked immediately. So if it's anything like Modern Warfare 2, just for Modern Warfare 3 alone, you'll probably have a good 20, 30, 40 attachments to use right there at the very beginning, maybe even in the beta. Don't think that's been specified just yet, but if it's again anything like last year, you'll be able to use this stuff in the beta. But all those attachments, plus any attachments that are considered universal from all the carry forward content in Modern Warfare 2. So a lot of weaponry on offer with day 1 through this, especially if it's anything like Modern Warfare 2, where we only had like 3 to 4 to 5 major weapon platforms in the game that offered a ton of weapon unlocks independently. Like we had the M4 platform, the TAC platform, the Castovia platform, and the Lockman and Mir platform as our like real main in-depth ones, where they didn't have just like 1 or 2 weapons per platform, but instead they had like 4 to 6 weapons per weapon platform. So if they're anything like that, that's like potentially 8 to 12 weapons unlocked on day 1 that you have access to. And then finally, Black Cell. Well, unfortunately, Black Cell isn't going anywhere. This is essentially a reskin of what we saw last year with the 50 to 55 tier skips. It's just bundled in as Black Cell, so offering a few more cosmetic items than once in season. Unfortunately, only available for money and not your COD points that you've saved up. So here's what I find odd about the Vault Edition this year. It's not too terribly different, but it's definitely noticeable differences compared to last year. You get the same beta access, campaign early access, and inclusion of the Vault system, operator skins, and tier skips, but the quantity of everything is a little bit jumbled here. And again, maybe more worthwhile or less worthwhile depending on who you ask. So the immediate access items, that's one of the ones that I think is the biggest discrepancy here, because you have the Soap Bundle versus the Ghost Legacy Pack from last year. 2 new operator skins plus 1 new blueprint versus last year 10 weapon blueprints and 12 operator skins of the M4 and only Ghost, though all of those were previous unlocks in bundles in MW19 or things that were in the battle pass, stuff like that, but offering those things to you, mind you, 2 years after Modern Warfare 2019 launched. So very old content versus new content in lesser quantities. Then the weapon vaults, we have 2 new vaults versus the 1 FJX Cinder weapon vault that we saw in MW2 last year. Double the unlocks in theory, and honestly, double the amount of weapon vaults that we've seen throughout the entirety of Modern Warfare 2 so far to date, 9, almost 10 months after the launch of the game. Now, yes, the universal wrap feature was showcased on the FR Advancer with Season 5's launch, but that didn't give you any weapon unlocks in terms of platforms, attachments, and stuff like that. It just carried that universal camo through all the attachments for the FR Advancer and all the attachments, honestly, overall. So day 1 offering is a bit more weighty by comparison, with 2 weapon vaults up front versus only 1. The operator pack, technically double the skins, since we only had the red team outfits for Price, Soap, Ghost, and Pharah last year with the red team 141 pack. In this one, we have 2 uniforms, a base, and again, let's say an upgraded or ultimate version for Price, Ghost, Makarov, and Warden. So double there in that regard. And then Black Cell versus the standard 50 tier skips technically is the same thing reskinned. The Black Cell does offer additional companion tier unlocks, so maybe a little bit there again by comparison. So you see what I mean, where it's like, it's weird where it offers more in some areas but less in, well, I mean, I guess mainly just the immediate unlocks, but again, even that, it's new stuff versus adding stuff that was already in the shop beforehand. But those are the things to keep in mind here when going into looking at any of these versions. Again, we're touching on this just for comprehensive coverage of following everything as it happens. I wanted to make sure that we did touch on this because I think it's important to know the differences from what we've seen before versus now, and also what is available on offer. And again, for the, I don't know how many times I've said it now in this video, I do not care what you do. Buy it, don't buy it, pre-order, don't pre-order. You do you, man. I'm just here to give you all the information at hand so that you can hopefully make as best an informed decision as a consumer as you can. Still, I think my recommendation is logical to, if you're interested or on the fence, wait until the beta to play during the free windows of time, or at the very least, wait until you see gameplay footage to see if it looks fun to you before putting any money down. Like I said, all these bonuses will still be there in the same capacity from now until November 9th, so you certainly don't have to rush into anything. But anyways, wanted to fill you guys in, keep you up to date with all that kind of stuff, and that's what we're gonna call it. So let me know your thoughts, but before we wrap everything up, a quick reminder, my friends over at G Fuel have a back to school buy one, get one sale going on, which is genuinely the best deal they have on offer. And there's some really good flavors this time around with things like Black on Blackberry, Hype Sauce, Shiny Splash, and more. A lot of options here, and of course, who doesn't like a 2 for the price of 1? So if you want to restock, check it out, link in the description below, but that's what we're gonna call the video. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare 3 as we gear up for whenever a reveal for multiplayer will be, and then as we push towards launch. Of course, we still have a ton of stuff to cover, but we'll keep you in the loop with everything. So if you're interested, I'd love to have you in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name has been Espresso. See you later. Take care and peace.